Good afternoon, everybody. This is Rollercoaster GP, and today I'm looking at the roller coasters of Kings Island. For those of you who don't know, Kings Island is an amusement park located in Mason, Ohio, and offers 14 roller coasters, or 15 roller coasters, depending on if you classify Surf Dog as one. Kings Island's website does, but Roller Coaster Database does not. Kings Island's roller coaster lineup is loaded, which makes ranking the roller coasters a really fun challenge. Overall, I was able to get a ride on 10 Kings Island roller coasters. The ones I didn't ride were Backlot Stunt Coaster, which was closed both days I was there, Flying Ace Aerial Chase, Surf Dog, if you consider that a roller coaster again, Great Pumpkin Coaster, and Woodstock Express. So, of the 10 that I rode, here is how I rank them. Before the rankings, however, I'm going to take these few seconds to give the usual splur to please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell if you want notifications, as that really helps small channels like myself get more exposure within YouTube. Now on to the video. Coming in at number 10, we have Adventure Express. This is a mine train coaster with a lot of turns and helixes. I thought the setting was very nice, and I did like the use of the tunnels throughout the layout. The problem that I had with this ride was it was one of the more rougher mine trains I have ridden, which really hindered the experience a bit for me. Mine trains are not really known for being smooth, but this one I felt was extra janky compared to others I've ridden. Going into the final chain lift in the temple, I thought a huge finale was in store for me, but the ride decided to just end for some reason, which really bummed me out. Perhaps this theming could be moved to Mystic Timber Shed to really brighten that up a little bit. At number 9, we have the Bat. This is only my second Arrow suspended coaster ridden, with the first being Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. I did enjoy the first drop, and the turns do pull some decent forces throughout the layout. The ride is good for what it is, absolutely, but does end pretty quickly in my opinion, and could have used a bit more variety in the layout. However, the ride intensity and pacing are beefed up a bit compared to Adventure Express, which puts it one spot ahead here at number 9. At the number 8 spot, we have Vertigo. This is a roller coaster that I predicted would be ranked much lower than this, but with most Vekoma suspended coasters, if the ride is not that rough, it is actually pretty decent overall. This was by no means a smooth roller coaster, but I assumed the roughness would be concussion inducing, which it was not. I did ride in the front, which may be a reason for that, but I'll take as much smoothness as I can get. I enjoyed the forwards and backwards inversions in intensity, and the ride is more intense compared to the Bat, which lands at one spot here at number 8 ahead of the Bat. Coming in at number 7, we have the classic wooden roller coaster, the Racer. I was really impressed with how well this was running for its age. Compared to American Eagle at Six Flags Great America, this was running fantastic. I got one ride in the middle row, and the airtime was still great. I'm sure it would be even better in the back row. With the smoothest airtime and layout, I thought this ride was better than Vertigo all around, which puts it here at number 7. At number 6 is the legendary roller coaster, the Beast. I was really looking forward to this ride and taking a side on the battlefield of the Beast Wars. What I mean by this is I had to choose if the ride was world class or complete shit. I pulled a Switzerland and thought it was good for what it was, and definitely offered a unique ride experience you cannot really find anywhere with its long ride length. Were the drops shallow, long, and gradual? Yes. Did the ride seem to meander on straight track for large amounts of time? Yes. Was the first lift hill the fastest lift hill in the business? Absolutely. Was the ride still fun and offer some intense moments such as the helix at the end? For sure. That for me ranks it higher than Racer. Occupying the number 5 spot is Flight of Fear. I had ridden Poltergeist at Fiesta, Texas, and was looking forward to the enclosed version of the ride. The launch was great, and traversing the spaghetti bowl in darkness was fun and offered some great positive G's and intensity. I think I was expecting a bit more out of this roller coaster, but I did still enjoy it overall. This ride pulls a huge line, so get on it early if you can. As a guy who favors more intense rides, having a launch along with the faster pacing ranks as higher than Beast for me. At number 4, we have the roller coaster that is defiling Son of Beast's grave, and that is Banshee. This monster B&M invert offers an amazing first drop and a great variety of inversions and elements. The pacing is fantastic on the ride as well. One issue is I was not expecting this ride to be as rough as it was. Roughness combined with the intensity of a B&M invert is not something you really want to experience. This is a long ride with a lot of elements, and a lot of elements unique to B&M inverts, but I do think I prefer the other B&M inverts I have ridden since their elements are tighter, offering more whip and intensity. I may be in the minority on this, but I also prefer the old school B&M over-the-shoulder restraints compared to these new vest restraints. I did only get one ride on this, so perhaps my thoughts will change as I ride it more often and try different rows. Still, this ride is long, intense, and very fast paced, leading to a much better ride than Flight of Fear in my opinion, and a great fit for this park. Now that we're on the top 3, this was pretty hard for me to decide. I considered each of the next 3 coasters for my number 1 spot since they all made a strong case for it. Unfortunately, I had to choose in the end, but I think these coasters are so close to each other that I can find myself choosing one over the other on my next visit depending on how good of a ride I get on them. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Diamondback. This B&M Hyper offers very strong airtime, especially in the back row. I love the airtime hills, and the ride still offers some variety to the layout with the helix at the end traversing into that splashdown finale. The one issue I have had with B&M Hypers is the ride experience varies heavily based on the row you are in. I rode in the front, and while the airtime is more sustained in some instances, you are not going to get any on the drop off the mid-course brake run and other areas in the ride. Still, this ride offers the usual strong B&M Hyper airtime and drops, which I prefer more to inverts such as Banshee if they're done correctly. In the back row, this ride offers very great airtime, and that's where I recommend you sit for this one. At number 2 is Orion. There's 2 major debates at this park. Is Surf Dog a roller coaster, and is Orion a Giga? For the sake of this video, we'll call it a B&M Giga with an asterisk on the word Giga. But overall, this roller coaster is phenomenal. As is tradition with B&M Giga coasters, it has an amazing first drop that just seems to go on forever. The ride is very smooth, and I really like the hissing sound it makes as you're traversing through the layout. It's really cool. And of course, this ride is great in any row. The wave turn is awesome, especially on the end seats, and I love that speed hill after that banked turnaround. Speed hills are awesome, and the speed hill on here was executed perfectly. Some people do find the helix section pretty boring, but I do appreciate them putting it in here to kind of vary the layout a little bit, and I did think it was pretty intense, although one critique I do have is I think it would be much better if it was lower to the ground. What keeps this ride from the number 1 spot in the park for me is the ride length. It definitely feels like an abrupt end to the roller coaster compared to another B&M Giga like Fury 325. Still, however, the ride is bigger, faster, and offers more intensity and airtime in my opinion compared to Diamondback, so I rank it here at number 2. I also rank it ahead of Diamondback because it has a consistent experience in any row, compared to Diamondback where I feel like you gotta ride it in a specific row such as the back or the front to get a good experience. That means occupying the number 1 spot is Mystic Timbers. Mystic Timbers squeaks out the number 1 spot for me at Kings Island. This GCI wooden roller coaster is an absolute speed machine, offering an out and back layout filled with whippy laterals and great airtime. One of my favorite and more underrated moments on the ride was the turnaround in the back through the tunnel, which offers absolutely crazy positive G-forces as it turns, which really reflects how fast this ride is going. The ride being set in the woods is also a perfect setting and adds to the ride experience. The shed is definitely a disappointment, but at least Kings Island tried something unlike Six Flags and their premium experience, Salim. But I do consider it kind of a it's so bad it's good kind of theming, so it is what it is for me. What ultimately decided picking this one over Orion for the number 1 spot was the fact that Mystic Timbers has a more unique layout, better pacing, and just offers a more complete ride experience compared to Orion. So there is how I rank the roller coasters at Kings Island, at least the ones that I have ridden. I know a lot of you are probably upset knowing that Flying Ace Aerial Chase would have easily taken the number 1 spot, but that'll have to wait for another time. Did I get something wrong? Or perhaps have too many hot takes? Let me know. At the end of the day, these are just my opinions and just for fun, as ranking roller coasters is. This is Roller Coaster GP, and we'll see you next time.